Is it working now?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Why are start stream and go live two separate buttons? Okay. Hello. Welcome.
Anyway,
We're back. We have a new month and a new book and a new person. We have Alan. Do you want to introduce yourself or
Happily, I'm Alan Fleming. I am co-chair of our wonderful convention coming up. The thing that was slightly weird there is that clearly Isla and my screens are set up differently. So when Isla was pointing that way, I'm actually on the other side. So
no, we're the
all
everyone
just
can see
weird.
what I can see, so that's all that matters.
Okay.
And Kate, you're below me.
oh, yes, I am. You're above me. And now we're doing the Brady Bunch thing. Hi, everybody. I'm Kate. I am coordinating the large number of tiny member services we're doing for the convention. And yeah, glad to be here again.
I'm Isla. I'm running promotions. I'm also at the end of a cold, so sorry. Okay.
So,
The book.
should we get started?
Yeah.
So, this month we were reading Future, a graphic novel by Tom Woodman, Rupert Smithson, and Aditya Bidikar. And before we go any further, I do want to mention some content notes. So this content does deal with cancer and terminal illness, climate disaster, a post-apocalyptic scenario, and mention and depiction of suicide. So if any of those are going to be not for you tonight, that is fine. We will see you next month. And we're going to be spoilering this intensively. So yeah. So that's the introduction.
Yeah. I just remembered what next month's book is, and there are some similar themes, so maybe also not next month.
Maybe we should try a comedy now and then.
one day, one day.
Maybe one day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, what do we got for what's your favorite quote from this? Let's start there.
I don't remember
Oh,
quotes. I read the whole thing in 2 days and I can remember all the nice pictures. I can't remember a quote.
Okay, I read it this afternoon in between working, and I took notes. So I have a quote, and probably my favorite quote in this entire thing is, "The past is gone and the present's fucked up, and the future is all we've got. It's all anyone ever fucking had." And
That
it's
was a
not
good
just because
one.
it's really sweary.
Yeah, it's a good one. I like that one.
mm.
Yeah, I liked all of it. I think it's like the second graphic novel I've maybe ever read. It was very nice. It was very pretty as well.
Yeah. I liked how it's yeah, we are going to get as spoilery as
It's
anything
hard
about
not
this
to be.
because
Also, yeah.
it's really tough not to talk about this with without being spoilery about it. I liked the way that there were little loops of language that indicated things coming in and out of. Well, it depends on how you look at it. It's a very interesting thing to look at from what is, what is time travel, what is traveling, um, what is how does it work, how what are the outcomes of what the time travel actually is. But I did like the signifier of little repeated snips of conversation, just making you realize that that something was happening or looped in again either for the looped in, whether again or for the first time, into all the basically timey-wimey shenanigans, of which there are a lot.
So one of those snippets of dialogue actually made me question whether this was actually about time travel at all, because when they first land, um, Mur is kind of fading in and out, and her wife says, "It isn't a matter of willpower or tenacity. You're going to die soon." And she hands her a water juice box.
Mm.
And then this loops back when she's talking to the doctor, and the doctor says the same thing. So that is actually kind of what made me question, is this actually time travel, or is it kind of a looping hallucination?
There are other bits in it that would lend itself to that reading as well. The bits where she's underwater or seeing something that could be or could have been underwater in the past. So
The dolphin.
there's
Yes. I think that
Yeah.
was, I didn't have a quote, but I was like, I remember the pictures and I like that one when they're like in the gorge or whatever it is underground and they're like, it's kind of the desert, but also there's whales there. And then there was a whole
yeah
thing of like, is this the time travel machine malfunctioning? Is this the progression of her illness? So you're not really sure what's reality and what's going on. It was very cool.
yeah yeah. And whether it's one or whether the other, it's uh, whether way you want to read it, both are good stories.
Yeah. I think not knowing actually makes it a better story both directions.
Yeah, there's more interpretations.
Yes.
Yes. I really liked the colors in it because it was like a lot of orange and blues. And normally, if you're in like a movie or something, all the warm tones would be like, oh, that's the people and the humanity, and then all the cold blue, that's the machineries and the technology, and like that would be the split. But it's more when they're in the present day or when they're in the bunker where there's like the last refuges of society, that's where we have all the cool tones and the blues. And then when you're outside in the desert and everything's dead, so they've kind of just flipped it from what you would expect. But then they've also used the like warm halo orangey glow for like the past memories as well. To like, they're all like blurred together.
The use of uh, the orangey color is interesting as well when you look at the repeated mention of Mars, which is the red planet, of course. And again, it can be you can look at it as time travel stories, and what has happened to the Earth, which is one of the questions that's constant that they're constantly asking, or you can again look at this as something that's being picked up as somebody creates a story for themselves in their head. So it's lovely. The one thing I didn't like about that, and this is just a complete lettering choice, and I have to put my hand up and say I'm a complete lettering and font snob, so just ignore me in this. The indication of loud noises that went right across a panel in lettering. I just find that really hard to read because it's big letters really close up, so it's like have to hold the thing away to see what it says.
I was gonna say I
But
liked it when they did
that's
that.
just completely me.
I was gonna say I
I
liked it
love.
when they did that. Because it's kind of like conveying how the sound feels. Because when you have a super loud noise and you
Mm,
can feel the vibrations, it's like it's taken up the whole space and the words taken up the whole space.
mm. I'm thinking about thinking on about what you were saying about color. I loved the completely different use of color when the time machine's doing its thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you just go from one thing, and then there's this just complete jarring sideways use of color, and then you're into something else. That was lovely.
Yes.
So it's beautifully drawn.
It really is.
Absolutely. It really is.
Mm. Does anyone know if it's been traditionally pens and inks drawn and then coloured, or
I don't know. I actually have
I
it
actually
open. Let's see if it says. What were you going to
mm,
say?
I actually don't know. I was just gonna look at it.
Hmm. I don't think it says at the beginning, at least.
I don't know either. And I'm not in a position just to be able to tell by looking at it. You know, the state of the
Yeah.
art is so
Like,
much better now.
yeah, you
They
In
don't
can easily
try
draw
any
on a tablet with a pen and it'll look like pen and ink.
Yeah.
mm, yeah, yeah, but some of the fine work in expressions, in showing how ill she is just beautiful, really tightly constrained. Um, not overdrawing it.
Yeah.
It's just it's drawn like, and everyone's been ill, and obviously not as ill as some thingy in the story, but uh, there's just like small changes,
Mm-hmm.
and of small changes in expression, small changes of just wincing, small changes of somebody holding themselves together by not moving very much.
Hmm.
And anyone who's uh, ever felt really, really ill is just going to empathize with that, because it's drawn exactly how I have felt in the past.
Yes.
Yeah, it's really beautifully observed.
Mm,
So I did
it's
just check, and Smithson is credited as the illustrator and colorist, and Bidekar is credited as the letterer. So,
Okay.
mhm.
of course, that does not mean that they used traditional methods, but yeah.
Yeah. I also just had a
But
very
yeah,
quick scroll through in the colors you were saying about the time travel there, that bright pink that they use. That's the only time they use it. It's just for the time
yes,
travel.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. It's I think there's not one other use for it when they're looking at um uh, the magic thing in the box that does the time travel, but
Mm-hmm.
it's so sparsely used. It
Yes.
just lets
Yeah.
you know what's happening.
Yeah, it seems to only be when they're interacting with the box. There is a scene at the end, kind of in the middle, where Mur is it's the part where she's kind of hallucinating about her past while she's in the waiting in the desert.
Mm-hmm.
Um and there's this one panel on page 93 according to the PDF where she's just kneeling in the water and then time travel and she's kneeling in on the cracked earth
Oh
and
yeah.
so that's like the unintentional time travel element where
Mm.
she's slipping in and out. So I'm completely fascinated by this and I want to go back to this.
Mm-hmm.
So it didn't occur to me until the very end that one of the first things we see when they're traveling, like they crash and her helmet is completely shattered and
Yep.
she's like floating in space.
Hmm.
So is this the last 30 seconds before she dies? Like does it all happen in this tiny time frame? Or was it this or was this a time loop reset? I
Yes.
don't know. I cannot make up my mind, and that's part of what I actually really enjoy about this is that there are no answers.
Mm. Yeah, there's absolutely no answers at all to it.
Yeah.
You see, you see the helmet being cracked. Then a little later on, you see her picking up a cracked helmet, which has no rhyme or reason for being there. Um, and she looks at it with surprise. She's looking at it. What is this implying? So you've got these internal loops in the story as well, which are it does leave very many questions about uh, what is the nature of the story, what is the nature of the reality for everyone in the story, what is the nature of not for everyone in the story, but just the two of them. It's yes, it's going to keep me thinking for a
Yeah.
while. I've read it twice, and I'm going to come back to this one and read it again because I think every time I read it, I'm going to want to uh, think more or emphasize more a different way of looking at it.
Yeah. It's kind of
Yeah.
like it doesn't matter what the plot is or what the setting is or what's really happening in it. It's just like the important part is their relationship, and that's
Yep.
all. That's the story they're trying to tell. The rest of it is just like set dressing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
And
is all about their relationship.
Mm-hmm.
and that is there right from the start right to the very end. And uh, it is a happy ending. What sort of happy ending really depends on you, the reader, because there's so many ways of looking at it. But that doesn't really matter. The fact is that the one thing that they promised to each other has come to fruition, and that's nice.
Yes.
I like that. I like things that and this is another thing I like about it. It raises an awful lot of questions. There's an awful lot of ways of looking at it, all of which are equally valid. But that doesn't stop it having uh, a single ending that, no matter how you read it, is just nice.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. I don't.
It's
I'm
nice.
not so much of a fan of a thing that leaves you. I'm not a fan of inconclusive endings.
I think this was a massively inconclusive
Yeah. Were
ending.
we not just saying nothing is
I,
answered?
like,
I,
so
I,
for the
I,
context,
I don't know. I think it is a very conclusive ending. I just for the story that is being told, but what we are
Mm-hmm.
doing is trying to work out who's telling the story, what the
I
story
suppose, yeah.
is, and so on. And we're all going to take our own individual path through that. But what I'm trying to say is, whichever path you take, you still come to the character's conclusive end to the story, which is nice.
Yes.
okay, I guess I can see that it's a conclusive ending in that Kay fulfilled her promise to come back for Myrrh. Like that was
Hmm.
the whole thing throughout.
Yep.
Um, eh, she said, "You're not meant to let go of me." She kept continually saying, "It doesn't matter if we live or die as long as we're together." And in
Hmm.
the end, so spoiler alert, cover your ears if you don't want to hear the ending. The story ends with Myrrh still in the spaceship falling into the sun, and a few seconds after she leaves, seemingly Kay pops back in, and and uh, seemingly comes back for her. But then it's a complete whiteout, and the story ends. So we don't know what happens after that,
Uh,
except that we get the little clue from the use of the pink in the
yes.
second to last panel. So
I like
uh,
when she came back and she was like, "Oh, you got older, but you don't see her face." So it's like, was it months? Was it years? Was it decades? You don't know how long she's been working on this trying to save her.
Hmm.
That's
So
nice.
yes, you do have the second to last panel, which is the same as the third to last, but using the time travel pink. So I would like to
Mm-hmm.
think, I would like maybe it isn't entirely conclusive, but I would like to think that there is however you want to read it, a happy ending in this.
Yes. I was.
I think,
Mhm.
oh, at least by Kay's definition it was, because whatever happened to them, it happened together. So,
Yes. I was telling one of my friends about it, and when I was explaining the plot, I started off with, well, all of the human race is kind of dying out, so they go to the future to try and find a way to save everyone, because that is like kind of that's the vague overall premise. Like, it's not their
Hmm.
premise, but like for everyone else that's involved, that's what's happening. And then after I finished explaining it, they were like, but did all the humans still die? Was everyone still wiped out? And I'm like, you know what? It's not really mentioned. It's not relevant. It's not brought up.
no idea.
Yeah. The base computer does say, about, numbers of humans existing previously, 12 something billion at max. Now, two. So yeah, it does. I don't know. I do like this. I do like it. It's something that makes you think. It's not entirely clear. Um, uh, uh, um, it's not a single linear story. It's
Mm.
not necessarily a single linear story. Um, you don't know how unreliable the story is. Um, but yeah, it's all going horribly wrong. So let's jump forward where surely it still must all be horribly wrong.
Yeah.
Um, seemed to me odd when I read it. Yeah, but
I mean, maybe,
you get swept along and it doesn't matter.
yeah, it doesn't matter at all. So, while I was reading this, I was thinking about the anime Voices of a Distant Star, which so the basic premise is that there's these two kids who grow up in a poor neighborhood, and they try to join the Space Force. One of them makes it and one of them doesn't. And one of them that makes it gets assigned to this research project where she has to essentially go in a mecha suit near the speed of light out through the Oort cloud out towards like out of the galaxy entirely. So the entire story is told with them being in communication, but the gaps keep getting longer and longer and longer. And he's growing up and she isn't because she's traveling near the speed of light. So she is effectively still 17 years
Mm.
old. And I was thinking that in a way, this is kind of the inverse of that, where
Hmm.
they're they're together, even though they are kind of moving between space completely separately. Um, but I don't know why this reminded me of that particular story, but it did.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Anyway, that's a great anime. You should watch it.
What was it called?
Yeah.
Voices of a Distant Star.
Voices of a Distant Star. Okay. Nice. Hmm. I'm trying to think if it reminded me of anything else while I was reading it. Hmm. I don't read a huge amount of time travel.
I read way too much time travel. And something I have learned from reading time travel is that the more you try to fix something, the more you mess it up. Like that is the entire premise of the entire College of St. Mary series. Also great. Um, but basically that's why I was thinking, did they get the data? Did they not get the data? Or did they get the data and did they pass it back? And did that cause the entire thing to blow up in 20 years instead of 100? Don't know.
Who knows? Not us.
Nobody knows.
Yeah. Again, there's little hints. If that, there are little things that let you think that that is a valid possibility. There's when they boost the car, there's somebody's driving license in it with a date on it,
Mm.
and they think about that. Yes, the information is transmitted. That's right at the very end, But as you say, did it just make it go wrong faster? The whole premise, the whole kind of like surrounding premise to this is that humankind has been screwing things up and doesn't listen when people say, look, this is being screwed up. So if something's coming back to say, here's the thing, this can help, it could well be roundly ignored. We do it right now. It's just the nature of this.
I mean,
We
we
are
do.
doing it right now.
We
Yeah.
are doing it now. We know
Yeah.
that we can't keep relying on fossil fuels, and yet everybody's like, wind turbine's ugly. Too bad.
Yep. Yeah. So it's horribly prescient, unfortunately, in that regard as well. It's just let's just give let's look at an outcome and see if humanity gets any better. Nope, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, but no, no, I'm going to. Definitely going to read it again. I'm going to set this aside for a couple of days and then come back to it and um, uh, have a long, slow read of it. I love how I also love how it's packed full of lots and lots of little things that, as we're talking about, can basically reinforce any thesis that you want to make about this.
Yes.
You want to read it one way? You can. You want to read it another way and be justified in so doing? You also can. It's
Yeah.
really, 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 really clever in that regard. So yeah,
Yeah.
did enjoy it. Did enjoy it.
Yes, it was very good.
Yeah. Has the author written anything else? Do you know? I'm
I
Let
don't
me check
think
vaguely,
so.
Storygraph.
vaguely looking.
Well, I don't know about the illustrator and the letterer, but Tom Woodman, the writer, is
Hmm.
actually a professional comedian.
Oh, really?
So yeah, Thomas Mayo. He's part of
Would not have.
an improv group.
Hmm.
So I know for a fact he's not written anything else because he's out doing comedy stuff.
Ah.
Yeah, Storygraph doesn't reckon anything else. So I did find a review from somebody who actually reads comics about
Oh,
this.
okay.
One review.
Review. I'm sure there's more than one review. Where is it? Oh, it's probably in my history, not in my bookmarks. Yeah, so yeah, basically Tom Woodman and Rupert Smithson, this was both their first work.
Hmm.
And Aditya Bidikar apparently is a well-known letterer.
Wow, that's very
So he's
impressive
the
for
only
a
one that
first
had.
work.
Oh, he also writes and I quote from this review, a wonderfully informative newsletter called Strange Animals.
Oh, I said there was nothing else, but actually, I think there was another book on their Ko-fi page. I don't know what it was, but I feel like I remember seeing another one.
Let's
Will I
go
be able
look.
to find it quickly?
Probably not. Do
Probably
you
not.
think it's Ko-fi or do you think it's coffee or is it
I say
Ko-fi?
Ko-fi.
I feel like it is ridiculous to be questioning this, but I cannot make up my mind.
Oh, it's in my history view shop.
This is the only thing listed on there.
The
Ko-fi.
Shore
Sure.
by
Yes.
Tom Woodman and Paul Peart Smith. I don't know if I'm saying that name right.
I don't know.
There's no description of it. It's 20 pages. That's all you get to know.
And it's black and white. Something else you get to know. I don't know. I might check it out.
No blurb, no description. It's all a secret.
Okay.
Okay.
So, all right.
So no other work. Uh, all we know. Well, one of the interesting things for people in Scotland, the Edinburgh Fringe brochure is just out, and it would be
Oh,
interesting to see if he is up doing improv at the Fringe this year.
he is.
Ah,
Me and my friends bought tickets like a month ago.
oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah, they
that's
did.
good.
Last year they did 4 shows at the Pleasance Grand. I think they
Hmm.
they sold out the first three and had to put on a fourth one. And
Cool.
this year they're at one of the rooms where they do the Edinburgh Uni graduations. So it's like huge with all the gold and like the red curtains and like very,
Oh,
very dramatic.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
See.
That could be a lot of fun.
Yeah. They do good stuff. It's very fun because they split their show into like two halves. So the first half is like lots of
Hmm.
little games and then they improvise an entire play, which is always very
Right,
cool.
right.
And yeah, there's like a
Um,
whole plot arc and character arcs and everything. They're very good, especially considering they're just making them up. But yeah.
yep, yep. Not a skill set I've ever had, and I thoroughly am in awe of it for people who can do that.
Yeah.
Because it's scary at the stage at the best of times, and when you're working with absolutely nothing except
Mhm.
what the audience are throwing at you,
Yeah.
wow, wow, that's good stuff. So I would really, really like to know more about this, about where the idea of doing the comic in the first place,
Yeah.
where all of this came from. But well, if Tom's in Edinburgh, then
Just find him on the
who
street,
knows?
track him down.
Who's It's happened before. Sit in the Bristol Square Gardens and just wait until somebody who looks 6'5" wanders past and say, "Are you Tom?" Because
Well,
I do know he's really tall. I do know
yes.
that.
He is too tall. Too tall. But yeah, just find him in the
Right.
street, stop and be like, I don't care about your Fringe show. I don't want to know about it. Tell me about your writing process.
Yeah, yeah, and it would be, it'd be a great thing. It would be a really, really good thing to find out about, because it's it's very different from doing comedy and doing
Yeah.
improv to suddenly feeling the need to write a fairly not just fairly, a very complex
Mm.
um science fiction time travel story. Uh, I would love to know how they kind of got from A to B on that one, because
Yes.
no, it'd just be really, really interesting, but
Yeah,
maybe
it
it's
would
just
be.
one of these. Maybe I'll dig deeper on their on websites and coffee. It's definitely coffee, by the way. You
I
can put you can
refuse.
put the pause you can put the pause in, but it's coffee.
I refuse. There's a
Okay.
dash. If you want it to be pronounced coffee, you should have spelt it differently.
But if
They
it's going to
couldn't
be
trademark
coffee,
coffee though.
Hmm?
They couldn't trademark coffee though.
They could
Like
spell.
if you're just gonna no, because Kofi isn't like just KOFI is a name.
Mm-hmm.
I don't I don't think you can trademark names.
I
Like
feel
not
like
proper
they
ones.
need at least like an E on the end or a double F or something. I disagree.
mm,
Also, they did all manage to fit a lot of plot and a lot of, like you said, complex time travel stuff in 130 pages. It's not very
yeah,
long.
it's not, and it's really in what 5 chapters,
Pretty
Yeah.
much.
effectively. It's and it's the way that it's been structured, and with very definite, chapter type things, does feel as if it was being written for trad comics medium,
Mm.
where things come out at a certain length, basically, because of the strictures of publishing. It it could be uh, it would make a lovely five episode miniseries.
Yeah.
There's as well. Uh, there's a lot of beats inside each chapter that could quite easily be turned into miniseries. Basically, this is what we need to say to him if he's in Edinburgh and we find him. Say, you need to be pitching this at Netflix. It'd be great. Um, because yeah, you've got things, you've got highs and lows and things that work and things that don't work and getting out of situations inside like kind of like a five episodic structure inside the story. And each episode has elements like that in it. So yeah, it felt very while it's very much definitely still not still while it is very definitely a comic, it felt as if it had the beats of a mini series.
Mm-hmm.
So knowing that the author is an improv comedian actually
Mm,
makes sense, because something that I really noticed very early on is that every single panel makes the story move.
Yeah.
Like there's
yeah,
no stop points. There's no points where it's just like, oh, this is a nice view. It's just constantly moving, moving, moving. Um, I would just like to say though, not Netflix, because they will give us 3 episodes and then cancel it because we didn't watch it enough.
yeah, they are bad like that, haven't they?
Yes.
Yes. You didn't watch the first 3 episodes of this show that we didn't advertise or tell you about at all in any way? How dare you?
I am still mad about Lockwood and Co, and I will not let it go.
Yeah.
Yes, they are. Yeah, they are data driven to a fault, and usually it's their fault.
Especially when they replaced Lockwood and Co. with an almost identical TV show like 2 months later.
Right?
Why? What was the
Right.
point?
You could have just, there's like 8 Lockwood and Co books. You could have just made the second one.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, I really, when they do that, that's no good whatsoever. Um,
I was going to say something that's
or
fully gone from my head.
yeah, or also they cut things off. I think it's the curse of uh being in this televisual age where there is so much choice, but there is so much good stuff that isn't given legs because people just look at how many subscribers did this show get us? Not enough. Okay, next show. Let's see if that one does any better. It's a terrible thing to be doing. But we
It
are we
really.
are we are living in a good age for SF, even if it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't get to even if any given show can not get to its full potential.
And we still have the power of fan shows. I was actually just watching the first episode of the Cruel Prince fan film. It was fabulous, but I'm so glad that we still have this. Actually, we don't have to give it up to Netflix.
Yeah.
So,
Mm.
returning to the story, what do you think happened? Like, where did the water go? So, I think it
Where
obviously
does
went.
water come from?
Well, I don't know where water came from. That is a
Do you
question
mean
for
like the
astrophysics.
water when it was like, is this time travel? Is it actually there? Or do you mean in general, where did all of the oceans on the Earth go?
Where did the water go? Like, where did it go so quickly that there were still scientists in the Svalbard seed vault who felt compelled to kill themselves because like the world changed so catastrophically around them?
Hmm. Yeah, because it's not like it slowly evaporated or there was like a gradual global warming and like, hmm.
Yeah. It's a
There's a couple
mystery.
of hundred, there's 200 or 300 years.
Mm-hmm.
We've got
Yeah.
we've got the 10 years on point that we know about because of the driving license, and we know that they went 300 and what 370.
So yeah, all
So
the people could have died
yeah,
and then the oceans vanished, I suppose.
yeah, yeah, and these things happen fast. But how would it happen?
Especially
There's,
leaving the atmosphere, because like some kind of catastrophic meteor
Mm-hmm.
impact.
Yeah, because they take off their
Mhm.
spacesuits and
There
they're
was
just
no
walking about.
atmosphere. Yeah.
Hmm.
This is getting a bit inception-y, isn't it? When you
Where did the water go?
what's
Yeah.
Yeah.
what's wrong with let's look at this explanation and think about it and think, hold on, how is that even possible? But yeah, there's lots and lots of little bits that does point towards, if it's time travel, it's really, really weird. A point that they do make at the end,
Yep.
is this branching worlds? Is this how precisely are we breaking causality?
Yeah. Are they in the future? Are they in an alternate future? Are they going back to the same past? It must have. There were
Hmm.
three people writing this book. They can't have just all been like, yeah, sure, the oceans are gone. There must be some sort of internal logic. There has to be.
Or that if you want to think about it and think about somebody who's, like we said, somebody who's not very well, we could be having a story told to us by the most
Mm,
unreliable of narrators.
that is also true.
That's true.
Hmm.
I will say All the Water is Gone is one of the most visually striking
Definitely.
uh, ways to show climate disaster. Like if you think about like Mad Max or Tank Girl, like
Mm.
all of the water is gone. It introduced immediate social tension. It looks terrible. Like it just looks catastrophic, especially to us temperate northerners who are not used to arid
What do you
arid
mean there's no
landscapes.
rain?
Exactly. What do you mean there's no brooks or sea or yeah.
Or the stuff coming down from the skies today as yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, no, it's yeah, just I don't know. It's yeah, I'm just gonna have to keep coming back and looking at little bits of this and seeing what I think, because it's going to change.
Yeah.
It's a good thing. That's a good thing about about this. It is, every time I read it, I'm going to want to think about it in a different way.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely gonna read
I
it
love
again.
rereadable work. Yeah.
Hmm? Pardon?
I love rereadable work.
Yes.
Mm, yeah, it is. It is really good, and yeah, there's other odds and sods about this that is, yeah, it's raining at the start of this.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's
Yeah,
raining a
yeah, it
lot
was.
actually.
Yeah, it absolutely is. It doesn't dry up until until they get to the spacecraft. Um, so yeah, it's
Hmm.
difficult to know. Oh, I'm going to have to look at that. Oh, that's another way to look at it. What's happening with, what does the weather mean in this? What is it representing something in its own right in the story? I
I
don't
was
know.
thinking about how the first two episodes of The Expanse, the like the Earth homeworld is depicted as just absolutely dripping in water, just water
Mm,
everywhere, and it being such a sign of inequality between the between Earth and the rest of the solar system.
mm. And yeah, thinking about uh, water, the use of water and the use of dryness in the, the original good Blade Runner and 2049, which was uh,
The other Blade
cert-
Runner.
the other Blade Runner, which certainly had its moments.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, there's lots of comparisons of inequality in that, but yeah, I don't know. There's I don't know. I'm going to have to reread this again pretty quickly. There's lots of um there's certainly making the absolute best of the relationship that you have,
Hmm.
and getting through um conflicts in that, whether whether they're actually there's a bit of not telling the truth in this at the start, but is this again? I don't know. I'm
And
going to be thinking about this one a while.
I mean, at the end too, because Mur
Mm,
lies to Kay and says she has to go outside, and then ditches the spacecraft. I actually thought that was one of the more kind of powerful moments for Mur, just kind of
hmm.
taking her own destiny in her hands and just saying, okay, that's enough. I'm done. Um, and I'm not going to drag you down with me. Even though Kay was very against that, she really, really was prepared to go down with Mur. Um,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because and because that's the thread from a bit of lying at the start to let's do all these things together. I will
get it?
carry you through. I will carry you through the desert. I will, and then there's another lie at the end, toward the end there. Yeah, but then you know it comes to that happy end. I think I do think it is a happy ending. Whether for good or for bad, they are back together. It's not for good.
Yeah. So we've got 5 minutes left.
We have
And
5 minutes.
5 minutes.
What were you gonna
Hmm.
say after 5 minutes? I
Nothing.
just okay.
Final thoughts?
Just time check.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. I liked how much oh, I always get their names mixed up. Mur's the one that was ill, yes?
Yes.
Yes. I liked how Kay's like optimism and belief rubbed off on her by the end of the book. Because I think, especially when you're ill, it can be very. There's a lot of temptation to give up, I think. Especially like with terminal illnesses, definitely. And having somebody that believes in you that much that it makes you believe in yourself as well is very impressive.
Yeah. Um. I'm not entirely certain how true that would be, but it's I suppose if the love of your life makes you feel that great, then it is obviously utterly the love of your life,
Mm-hmm.
which is just sweet.
Yeah, it's just nice.
Yeah. And yeah, and that's the I suppose that's one of the reasons why I'm going to be coming back and reading this and
Mhm.
reading this again. You know, we've discussed ways in which there are, you know, some fairly dark ways to read this if you so choose. But if you don't so choose, you can read this as where no matter how bad it is, we're all in this together, and and I will support you, until the end of time, until the end of our time. Um, Way of looking at it, and that is just nice. And that, you know, I like that sort of thing. I like that there is that, you know, nice way of reading it, as well as, you know, much darker ways of reading it. What is actually happening with the time travel? Is it time travel at all? Ways of looking at it. So the fact that there is just one, um, uh, nice way of looking at it makes me feel very happy.
It's something we
Nice.
all kind of want, is somebody
Oh,
to
definitely.
work
Yeah,
with us at the end
yeah.
and beyond. Apparently.
Say again. Sorry.
I said and beyond. Sometimes it
Yes.
Hmm.
seems.
Yeah, I'm not one. I'm glad I signed up to read this one. Um, it is, on its plain reading, it is exactly the sort of thing that I like. On its more complicated readings, it's also exactly the sort of thing that I like, because it's just going to sit there and be reread and reread. I'm kind of slightly upset that I didn't get into the Kickstarter at an appropriate time to actually have it in physical form. But there we go.
You have
Yes.
to go unicorn hunting.
Yeah.
I had a look, and it's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money.
Yeah, I think the Kickstarter was a very long time ago because I remember
Was it?
yeah, he was selling off like the last, I don't know, 50 or whatever copies like last year, and that was a long time
Right.
after the Kickstarter had finished. So
Ah, okay.
we missed it
Yeah,
by a good few years.
it happens.
Yeah.
Oh well. So what are we talking about next month?
Next month, we are doing 13 stories by Jonathan Sims. So, horror, definitely darker, a lot darker than
Ooh.
this month's was. It's all
And
very
who do we have for that?
we have we have me. We have
Cool.
let me check. Yeah, I read it a few years ago and I have lent my copy to a friend who just moved house. So who knows where that's gone now. But I found the audiobook on Spotify. So
Cool.
me and Amy and John.
Oh, cool.
Yes.
I look forward to listening in.
Yes. It's very
And
eat the rich.
Like literally or
Spoilers.
uh, okay then.
Okay.
right?
Cool. How do you end a stream?
I
Bye.
see. Bye.
Bye bye, everyone.